Today, we'll be learning one of the most popular Diabolo tricks on the internet, and that is the sprinkler, aka Sharingan. Hey guys, I am Marco of Spirals Bros, a Diabolo master for 14 years, and for today's tutorial, you will need 2 fixed axle Diabolos, and a solid 2 Diabolo solo ham, and comfortable 2 Diabolo accelerations. If you need to learn how to do 2 Diabolo solo ham, the link will be right up here. Normally, we use a triple bearing Diabolo in our previous videos, but the sprinkler will only work with 2 fixed axle Diabolo, preferably both the same model. Basically, the fixed axle Diabolo is like a responsive yo-yo, mainly because the fixed axle Diabolo does not have a bearing. Therefore, the fixed axle Diabolo can be grabbed by the string like this. The easiest way to tell what type of Diabolo you have is by looking at the axle. If your Diabolo has a white and black stripe, or 2 different color stripe, you have a bearing Diabolo. And for this tutorial, we'll be using our own signature fixed axle Diabolo. You can get one by clicking the link in our description. First, let's learn how to spin a fixed axle Diabolo. The best part about a fixed axle Diabolo is that it doesn't matter which way the Diabolo is facing. Spin your Diabolo normally and start accelerating. But be aware that when you start accelerating with your fixed axle Diabolo at first, it will end up stalling on the strings like this. This is caused by friction between the fixed axle and the strings. When doing any acceleration pulls, extend them more like this to prevent the strings stalling them. Lack of extensions can lead to the Diabolo sitting on the string, which ends up with poor acceleration and string stalling. You can also stick to doing unlooped horizontal zigzag pulls if that works for you. Make sure to unloop right away after accelerating in any way to prevent further string stalls. We will talk more about accelerating your fixed axle in another future tutorial. The easiest way to get into the sprinkler is by getting loads of spin on your first Diabolo, then getting loads of spin on your second Diabolo with a hover start. Wrap the second Diabolo in as quick as you can right after you're done spinning the first Diabolo. Lack of spin will result in weak sprinklers, and your Diabolos have no bearing, so if you're not quick enough, the Diabolos will lose spin and result also in weak sprinklers too. Do the hover start for your second Diabolo to get lots of spin. Once it starts to get heavy with lots of spin, you can unwrap and proceed to your solo ham. I recommend also that you learn how to recharge your Diabolos in the middle of your solo ham to get a lot more spin on both Diabolos. Get 2 to 4 rounds of your solo ham before entering the sprinkler. To execute the sprinkler, slightly push one of the Diabolos to the other side with your dominant hand. Next, you will use your left hand to bring that same Diabolo to land on top of the string, closest to the stick on your dominant hand like here. Your Diabolo should be both spinning around each other in a loop of string like here, and make sure your string and Diabolos are lined up to avoid any early exits, unexpected drops, or misses on the entry of the trick. Now that you have the sprinkler, you will need to learn how to exit. We will teach you 3 of the most basic sprinkler exit: the switch side exit, the unwrap and transfer exit, and the full unwrap exit. The switch side exit I find to be the easiest as long as you catch the stick at the end. For this exit, turn your body to the side so you can see your sprinkler sideways. Then hold your stick vertically pointing downwards. Anytime, let go of the stick and will come around back to your hand. Once you have caught the stick, the Diabolo should be free and back into solo ham again. For the unwrap and transfer exit, once you feel the sprinkler is getting smaller, exit by moving your dominant hand gently outwards, and one of the Diabolos will be free from the loop, but the other one will still be wrapped. Once that wrapped Diabolo approaches your non-dominant side, it will climb up the string like the elevator. Before it reaches your stick, unloop the Diabolo with your non-dominant hand, and at the same time, push that same Diabolo to the other side so that you can rewrap that Diabolo and do the hover again to recharge that Diabolo. For the full unwrap, both Diabolos should be free into solo ham. With this method, my advice is to bring the sprinkler closer to your body, and at the same time, move your dominant hand deep under and then far out as possible to prevent any of the Diabolo axles to be left unwrapped. To get into double sprinklers, you will need to learn one of these 2 acceleration methods: Chinese accelerating with 2 Diabolos, or 0 shuffle charging. For 0 shuffle charging, you will need to learn 2 acceleration methods: Chinese accelerating with 2 Diabolos, or 0 shuffle charging. For 0 shuffle charging, you will need to learn 2 acceleration methods: Chinese accelerating with 2 Diabolos, or 0 shuffle charging. For Chinese accelerations with 2 Diablos, you can start with the hover spinning. After several tugs, go for the vertical whipping. You can start off by doing single Chinese acceleration tugs like this. To go for multiple Chinese acceleration tugs, tighten your string and your non-dominant hand to prevent the other Diablo from bouncing out. To exit, unwrap the Diablo when it's at the top during the acceleration. You will then notice much more push in your solo hem, giving it more power. This is very essential for when you're doing single Chinese accelerations as well. With 0 shuffle charging, there should be no solo hams in between recharging of Diablos, meaning once you did your hover recharge on one Diablo and then exit, the other Diablo has to be wrapped into a hover right away like this, and then doing it repeatedly until you feel both Diablos have enough spin. You can also do the 0 shuffle charging with single Chinese acceleration tugs like this. Once you produce plenty of spin on both Diablos, you can enter the double sprinkler. First, get into your normal sprinkler. It should appear much bigger and powerful than usual since it has a lot of spin. Wait for the sprinkler to be controlled and a little bit smaller. Once it's controlled and steady, you can wrap the Diablos once again to achieve the double sprinkler. To exit, you can do the Swiss side exit or the unwrapping exit. For the Swiss side exit, just let the stick come around twice before catching it. For the unwrap exit, wait for the double sprinkler to get smaller before exiting. Exit by doing a full unwrap first to get back into the standard sprinkler. Then you can proceed to the unwrap and transfer exit for the full unwrap. We have another sprinkler entry to show you that we will learn. This is the reverse sprinkler, the one that I use for my Sharingan trick in my videos. Although, it is one of the hardest sprinkler entries to land, but hopefully these following tips will help you get the reverse sprinkler down. So before entering, make sure you're good with doing 0 shuffle charging, followed by single 0 shuffle accelerations so that your Diablos will have equal amount of spin and both will naturally line up to do the reverse sprinkler easier. After the accelerating, get 2 to 4 rounds of your solo hem before looping your Diablos into a sprinkler with your dominant hand. Wrap the string on one of the Diablos that reaches its peak. Next, you will wrap the second Diablo too. Then, you will lay the string under the first Diablo. And finally, lay the string under the second Diablo so that both Diablos can be looped in the string to do the sprinkler. And the exit is easy. Just unwrap both Diablos out from the side facing you with your dominant hand. Wait for the sprinkler to get slightly smaller before unwrapping. After you get good with the reverse sprinkler, you can proceed to the reverse double sprinkler. For double, make sure you have a lot more spin on both Diablos. And take your time wrapping the Diablos so that they don't crash into each other. To exit, just unwrap twice, but do not rush. For reverse triple sprinkler, you will need a longer string and much more spin on both Diablos compared to how you will accelerate the Diablos for double sprinkler. Then it should be easy to attempt. Wrap both Diablos 3 times and unwrap them 3 times. The sprinkler, also known as the Sharingan, is indeed a very complicated trick to get down. In fact, it's an expert level trick, so don't be discouraged if you find it hard to get right. And we will have more future videos on improving and perfecting your sprinkler so that you can achieve variations of the sprinkler, aka Sharingan, like this.